Good evening. I am here. It is just after midnight on Thursday, August 31st. Yeah. So, I'm here. It's not a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to jump right into this. I was hinting at wanting to do this for a couple weeks, and this was on sale, so I was like, sure, I'll get it. I'm going to do the first Ace Attorney game, which is kind of going to be a weird step back because I've already streamed both of the great Ace Attorney games. If you remember, those games are in like full 3D, have like a ton of voice acting, orchestrated music. It's very much a newer game because it was the last game to come out. It came out in the 3DS and then got ported to modern systems. This, if you haven't seen this, is the original first trilogy of Ace Attorney games. These were originally on the Game Boy Advance in Japan, and then they got DS ports, enhanced DS ports in America as well as Japan, and worldwide, really. And now and a few years back, they were all ported into modern HD format. So this is it's gonna be more sprite-based stuff. You're gonna notice the quality is a lot lower than the Great Ace Attorney in terms of like graphics and sound, because it's all just upscaled GBA and DS like music, sound, and graphics. But it doesn't look terrible. The HD graphics are all right. I have a couple gripes with how some of the characters are portrayed in this, but for the most part, it's really good. And I think all the nuance of the DS versions are kept in these. So I figured I'd do the first game. There are 3 in the original trilogy, as you could expect. I figured I'd do the first because it's going to be very short. I could probably get through the first 2 chapters of this tonight, and probably get through the other... there's 5 in the first game. We can get through the other 3 in probably like another 4 streams after that. Maybe 5 streams. We'd have to see. But the first case is going to take like no time at all to do, so I figured why not. So we're starting with 1. The first Turnabout, Episode 1. So if you've seen the Great Ace Attorney playthroughs, you know what to expect. If you haven't, and this is your first time seeing an Ace Attorney game, then enjoy the ride. I might have to adjust the volume here a bit. Damn it, why me? I can't get caught. Not like this! I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. So right away, they throw you right into it. Someone's dead, they show you who kills them, and then they show you who he's going to try to frame for the murder. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So, I'm not sure if the year gets specifically mentioned, so a Great Ace Attorney took place in the 1890s. This takes place in 2016. Even though the level of technology does not match up to what existed in 2016. No one has a smartphone in this game, I'll just say that. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out in any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. No, that's not the voice I want to do for him. Also, I just realized there's rumble in this version. I've never played the HD versions of this, so that kind of surprised me. Also, I gotta take the thing off my microphone. I don't know why I have that up there. I know why I had it up there. I just forgot to remove it because I went straight from auditions to doing this. My life, everything, it's all over. Miss you, everybody from the past. Yeah, it's like missing Lan and Mega Man in Star Force. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair. Oh. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Oh. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Kid. The, Sparkle. Shoot. Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her, who was playing Splatoon 3 at the time. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He's a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I could say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took this case, to clear his name. Did I misplace my back scratcher again? No, I didn't. And that's just what I'm going to do. This game does have touchscreen controls as well, if you're playing this in handheld mode. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of, there's a lot of smearing going on with the colors in the designs when you look at, like, that courtroom shot. It was pixelated in the DS and GBA versions, but here they kind of smooth it out. It doesn't always work very well. Like, here it looks fine. When you look at the characters, it's fine, but, like, when you see those faraway shots of them, they look kind of blobby. It looks almost like a smoothing... It looks like that awful smoothing filter that Capcom does in their Mega Man collections. Yeah, it gets heavy right off the bat. Grieving a dead girlfriend. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. He might look a little familiar. Actually, they all might look familiar, in a way. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Oh god, it's that dude again, yep. Well, it's his descendant. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. It is so funny watching actual lawyers play this game and losing their shit over how inaccurate it is. Especially this, like, look up this scene and then look up the updated autopsy report scene from, like, the lawyer reacts to Phoenix Wright. He gets so pissed. He's like, you can't do that! You can't do that! Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking. Eyesight fading. This test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. As you can see, they definitely made the intro cases a lot more immersive as opposed to just a straight-up tutorial. But again, this is the first game, so... Please state the name of the defendant in this case. You get no penalties for doing this wrong, so just for shits and giggles. The defendant is me, right? Right? Have you completely lost your mind? Focus! The defendant is the person on trial. You're his lawyer. Yeah, right. This is no laughing matter. You did pass the bar, didn't you? Sorry, I couldn't hear your answer. I'll ask once more. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name isn't listed in the court record. Just press the R button to check it any time, okay? So we got two options. You got options, which I think these are all... I set these all before. Single box skip. We'll keep this on full auto. Screen shake is on. Vibration on. Text box. We'll keep it transparent because I want to see the stuff behind it. So, court record. Same thing as Grady's attorney. Split into two sections. Evidence and people. So, Cindy Stone is the name of the victim. Model. She lived by herself in an apartment. She was 22. Likable guy's been my friend since grade school. Look at that, like, shit-eating smirk he's got there. I don't remember it being that tilted in the DS version. Winston Payne, the prosecutor for this case, lacks presence. Generally bad at getting his points across. 52. Mia Fey, age 27, chief attorney at Fey & Co., my boss and a very good defense attorney. No one believed I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. Time of death was July 31st, 4 to 5 p.m. Loss of blood due to blunt trauma. I would imagine you would die of the brain hemorrhage before the loss of blood, but I guess that's just me. Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Cinder Block. Oh, wasn't it Miss Block? Miss Cinder Block? The person in question was a victim of murder, not ill-conceived naming, Mr. Wright. Right. If you forgot something, use the R button. Okay. A mistake in court could cost you the case. I'll ask you again. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? I'm trying to get more closer to the anime voice actors with how they're doing it, but I keep slipping back to, generic old man. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Except for Phoenix. Phoenix, I'm trying to do the 3DS voice for him. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Despite the fact that you clearly got two of them wrong, you seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the R button to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. He would have already observed many, many cases by this point. The fact that he's rushing into this without realizing what to do is terrifying. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls. Or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you, anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies. All of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. United States of America. So there are a lot of localizations in this series, because it's very clearly taking place in Japan in the Japanese version, which is why the Great Ace Attorney sticking to its historical roots is actually kind of weird, because they erase it from like all the present day games. They changed the location from Japan to South Los Angeles, apparently.
Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder.
Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth and I have a way of not saying words correctly. Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering? My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof! Wince. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
It ain't my business, but man, that's another thing entirely. Yeah. I mean, you could just be Polly. That's always an option, like I said on Twitter that one time. You didn't hear me say that out loud, though. Yes, you did. It was on public Twitter. I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
Yes, quite.
Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly. Stop him from answering. Have him answer honestly. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. How exactly did he say those words using those gestures? Yeah, I was there. I went.
Order! Well, Mr. Butts?
Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, why was the objection sound so low? Hold on. We'll turn the music down just a tad. We'll get more chances to hear the sound clips later. Your Honor, the defendant is lying.
Lying?
The prosecution would like to call a witness who could prove Mr. Butts is lying.
Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness?
The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. See, look at that smear on Mia's body over on the right. It doesn't look right.
Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness.
Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. He saw it. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is that correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes.
Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder.
Witness's account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I'm gonna capture this for something very specific that might not come up on stream for years, but you'll see if I ever get to it. Also, newspaper, this ain't no school fundraiser, yeah. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why don't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Oh man, can you? Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of... Why didn't the guy go up to the neighbor's phone? Because he killed a woman! He wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. He didn't want to stick around and risk getting tied to the murder. Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Blackout record. Electricity in Mr. Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. No, not at all. Do Japanese phones do that? I don't know. They're just making shit up for the sake of the case.
Now, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Also, I don't have the PNG tuber thing up here. I realized last night that it created a huge issue where I couldn't get a clean screenshot because taking a screenshot from the stream would have the PNG tuber in it. And I'm like, I kind of don't want that in my thumbnails just yet. Maybe in the future, but not now.
You may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, right. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? And they do turn on TVs automatically for emergency earthquakes, yeah. And phones. Cell phones, when they send the emergency alert out. Why, you expose the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find the contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the R button, then point out the contradictions in the testimony. Cross-examination. Oh, they don't have the face cut-ins. So in the DS version, on the bottom screen, you would see the face cut-ins of whoever you were playing as and the rival prosecutor. They don't do that in this collection, which is weird because Great Ace Attorney does that, despite being a single-screen game on the modern platforms. So I guess they just didn't work it in. So works the same as the Great Ace Attorney games. You can scroll through the statements, press L to get more information, or press R to present evidence. And if you go to the end of the, if you get to the end, you get kind of like a hint, like a small hint. That's all of it. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Examine the court record with the R button. If something strikes you as being suspicious, then find the evidence that contradicts his testimony and present it to the court. Hey, Ephraim. Yeah, you're just in time. So they actually don't teach you about pressing at all until the second case of this game, I believe. But you can do it now. There's a lot of statements in this one. Also, there's no way to see how many statements there are. It's weird that they didn't add that to this version when, like, games that came out before this collection had all that stuff. Okay, that's still too low. That sounds too loud, though. I wonder if that affects the voice clips. Testimonies are long in AA1, yeah. 1 p.m., are you certain? Yes, absolutely. He seems really confident. 1 p.m.? Right, doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. Let me try this one more time. That's better. I don't like how the voices are tied to the sound effect volume, though. Oh my god, I got crusty there. Did you hear that? Like, crackled. Okay, let's put it up to 3 for both. And then turn down... Oh, the volume's already really low. Okay, that sounds good. How's that for balancing? That was pretty good. Alright, 1 p.m. So... Oh, that's a little... See, that's still a little loud, though. Sorry. I'm trying to get this fine-tuned now because this affects all 3 games, and I am going to stream all 3 games at some point. Yeah, sorry. I know, it's a little pain. It's literally just the voice clips that sound too low. Victim apparently arrived. Okay, time of death was 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So him reporting the crime at 1 p.m. makes no sense. So that's, you know, that's the logic there. That's a little low. Yeah, it's still a little low. I wish I could just raise the voice volume. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. Okay, you know what? We'll just take the hit on the sound on the voices, because this sounds fine outside of that. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Oh, that. Oh, You can still hear it, I guess. This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After this testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Saw It, why were you so certain you found the body at 1 p.m.? Grill his ass.
Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out the contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again?
Time of the discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
I see. You heard a voice saying a time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. Press that last statement. It's really good. Okay, why not? Oh, yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. Well, you just watch it. Not much point pressing him on that one, was there? That's funny, because usually when you do something like that, you get chastised by everyone else in the court. Call you shenanigans, bruh. Okay. Alright, I just want to ask, the volume sounds good on your end, right? Because at this point, I've kind of hit the sweet spot for me. But I've also noticed I could sound a little too loud at times. Sounds good now, okay. Guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. How? The power was out. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. Let's be honest, though. No matter how good I balance the audio, the final case of the third game, that one moment is so loud. No matter it's ear piercing. No matter how low you have your volume. So when I eventually get to Trials and Tribulations' final case, I'll give you a fair warning before the noise happens at the very end of the game. I don't even know. Maybe it's just crappy sound balancing. Yeah, it's just the voice clip volume is really low. Probably because they took it directly from the DS version, and the quality of it is lesser, so they kept the volume low on it. That'll be a ways off. Oh, no, yeah, I'm only doing the first game right now. The second and third game will be in due time, but I will eventually do the entire trilogy, as well as both Edgeworth games, and then the second trilogy. I'm going to do all 8 of them, since I already did Great Ace Attorney at this point. You couldn't have heard a television or a video.
Yeah, well, The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sword?
Now it sounds too low.
No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sword, the court would prefer to hear an accurate version of the testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather, distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sword. Let's hear your testimony once more, please.
Hearing the time.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly.
Make it accurate and realistically, the courts would be pissed if they were lied to, and the guy would have been hit with more charges, yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, all this stuff would have been out in the open before this trial even happened. There's a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That's funny. The murder weapon is not a clock, it's a statue in the shape of the thinker. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was the statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sod.
Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may.
Cheetah Man, let's go. God damn it, I forgot about the memes with the song in it.
Yes, Mr. Payne?
This is clearly Mega Man 3 Snake Man, yeah. Capcom likes that ripple in their music.
As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So this murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now?
Yeah, of course I do. Your Honor, there's a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock was to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified he never entered the apartment. Clearly, a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment, knew the victim. Went into the apartment, clearly. Legend of Action 52 lives on, yeah? You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there.
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Look how square his head looks from behind. I have a compilation of all wrong answers, as you know. Oh, right. I forgot about that. That's an older video of yours.
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. Can confirm they can do that sometimes, yeah. Mr. Sod, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. Did he, like, clean the blood off the murder? Oh, no, I guess he didn't. And he was wearing gloves. I was like, wait a minute, how did he take the well, he didn't take the statue. I'm an idiot. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Whoa. Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock?
That day, I never...
Look, the clock. I heard, no, I mean I saw. Yeah! And there it goes. Look at Phoenix's face. Shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you, I saw him! He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death! Now his hair's back.
Order in the court, I say!
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
you claim the sound for the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawt heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. So it's interesting that they show your life bar in this game as a health bar, because in the first game, it's actually exclamation points instead of like an actual bar. And in later games, different penalties are actually worth different amounts of bar damage. There's some points in the third game where if you make a mistake, that's it, you instantly lose. Your Honor, why did I stutter there? Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That's certainly a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. They probably just use it to save on coding. That is, they can reuse the life bar in all cases, yeah. The thing I pointed out right before you came in that I was upset about, when you do the cross-examination in this version, it doesn't show the faces, like the close-ups, like it does in the DS games. Which is weird, because Great Ace Attorney's modern version does have those faces, even though it's a single-screen game.
So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy that Precisely the discrepancy between Mr. Whoa! Precisely the discrepancy between Mr. I'm missing the word what. If you've never seen the Ace Attorney anime dub outtakes, they are incredibly good. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawt heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawt, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, does it beat Yu Yu Hakusho bloopers? I have never seen those. There's a port of the GBA versions. It's possible, but I mean, it has the DS era music, so I don't know. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. That's bullshit, actually. Phoenix you would never have to prove that normally. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, I was so close.
Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawt.
That's such bullshit. Like, you know that wouldn't actually, like, I know this isn't real court, but you know that would never hold up. I have to watch him. I'll watch him at some point soon. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. Almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. And the way he's acting, there's nothing I could do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sawt. Mia, I mean, Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. I mean, this whole thing is just likely a satire of how courts are over there. Yes, I believe so. Even though this isn't accurate to how Japanese courts work, I do believe that there are a lot of elements in this game that satirize, yeah. Like how the actual Japanese courts conduct business, usually. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that still doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking outside of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow, and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence that's somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it.
Oh, Mr. Wright.
Aren't Japanese courts like mostly just send everyone to jail almost? I actually don't know the intricacies of it, so I'd have to look it up.
You say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There's a piece of evidence in the court record that could prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off.
Let's see the evidence of what proves why the clock was running slow.
It's the passport. She was in Paris.
The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder.
Really? I'd like to meet this broad. That's what you hear when people not from Japan talk about it, TBH, yeah. Exactly, which is why I wouldn't trust that until I actually read about it. The victim had just returned home from a day of... Okay, I'm barely louder than the game. There's definitely some volume stuff that's not great here. Alright, there we go. That's decent. I think the... Oh, my mic is low, too. Let me turn that up just a bit. There we go. I alter it every night due to the, you know, the voice acting stuff. They seem jail happy to me, but it also seems to be a bit more conformity. Yeah, I don't know. Victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day over there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow. It was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment. Ugh. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? He has rabies.
Order, I say.
If you think that freakouts, well, I mean, you've seen Great Ace Attorney freakouts, but if you think that freakout is something, wait until you see literally every other character throughout this series. It just escalates every single game until you get, like, the most ridiculous breakdowns possible in the later ones.
Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness?
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts...
not guilty. Hell yeah. Why is the camera not on the judge for those lines? There's a few spots where that's like that. It's really weird to see that confetti. That confetti in the DS game is just like sprites that fall down. In this, it was like a 60 FPS like screen effect.
And with that, the court is adjourned.
It turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. Not even a con man, he was just a burglar. The newspaper thing was entirely just a side thing, like a cover. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Poor Cinderblock. I love that. That name is so great for her. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. Oh, man. That's extra poignant coming from her, knowing what comes later in the series. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, I imagine how Larry must feel. Pour one out for the homie, yeah.
My life is over.
Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? I mean, okay, to be fair, he didn't realize his girlfriend was cheating on him till, like, just today. And she just died a few days ago. Why would you expect Larry to be happy right now? Like, that's fucked. That's kind of fucked. Though, to be fair now, Larry's not upset over that exact reason.
Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon.
Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed.
But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever.
Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry.
Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent.
Thanks. I really owe you one.
I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Injured? Good. Yeah. Nessie brings that meme up all the time. Oh, no, I couldn't.
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook.
Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really, you? You? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento of the trial where, you know, this weapon was used to kill someone. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that just make you want to cry? Are you freaking kidding me? No, yeah, this is the kind of person Larry is. Larry. Are you so sure? Like, squeeze me? Man, imagine if you hadn't given that to her. Oh, don't worry, we'll be... Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, shh, don't say anything. I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick, I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen. Learn. Grow strong. Live, laugh, love. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. The end. A brand new episode's been added. Oh, did it actually just automatically go into that? No. It doesn't do the noise when you save. I hope it does that between like chapters. Also, you don't get to see the cover art because it just jumps into the next case.